Good afternoon. Subtle is a phenomena impacting our lives. Subtle. S-U-B-T-L-E. I frame this as a social unconscious bias terminating larger equity. Social unconscious bias terminating larger equity. Let's understand the critical impact of this phenomena together. I remember the surprise reaction of Emily when Uncle Mo said that I love going to my work every day. Really? He said, because they treated me as a human. I understand Emily's surprise reaction. It was because of her partner Bruce's traumatic work experience, which were causing him chest pains and high blood pressure. And more than that, it was slowly destructing the quality of their life together. I will dare you and say that hundreds of millions of women and men are daily traumatized by the stereotypes of subtle. The glorified, well-crafted social doctrines in the form of policies and practices which are strategically created to exclude humans. This unconscious trauma eventually destroys the individual and collective talent of humans, and world loses at all levels. My current work is focused on understanding the stereotyping ingrained within us for the sake of following the external social conformity. Mike, a super nice colleague, said to me, I have never been promoted to the role of project manager in 20 years in architecture in different offices because of the perception about my humble socio-economic status. I don't come from an affluent background, so I cannot bring clients and money with them. I have been complimented over and over again, Mike said, as a reliable, credible professional with great attitude. But in last 20 years, that has not materialized into becoming a higher role, getting a higher role, or getting a higher pay with it. And he's continued, when you are in a mid-sized city, your perceived reputation and perception is attached to you forever. When a person like Mike, in a city of majority, a group of majority, in a workplace of majority, is treated and feel that way, it is not difficult to understand for us that how the likes of Raj, Abdul, Amna, Shiri, Oneka goes through. Subtle has become a toolbox of wrapped perceptions in the form of social unconscious biases and social conformity, known as Farzana. I have experiences of these perceptions in architecture and in non-profit leadership roles. I persisted and standing here because of the support of great human mentors who assisted me in not falling into the black hole of subtle. These experiences of Uncle Mo, Bruce, Mike, Amna, Oneka, you name it, are causing trauma to a lot of people whom I named earlier. But it is also causing the secondary traumatic stress, or STS, to people who are close to them, to people who live with them, to people who care for them, to people who hear them. So my work has become to understand the root cause of this subtle through their lives, and looking that we are constantly stressed, experiencing this trauma. I started researching and writing. In 2014, Michael's death acted as a catalyst to continue. I wanted to understand through my research the root cause of subtle stereotyping ingrained within us. I wanted to understand why we are subjected to this trauma. I wanted, and more importantly, I wanted to understand why we do this to each other. I started researching and I discovered the phenomena of subtle. So what is subtle? As I said, I frame subtle as social unconscious biases terminating the larger equity. Where does this subtle start? It starts at the beginning of our beginning. When a child is born, we mentally train them to be nice to each other, to be nice to us, to be nice. And, but don't talk to a tall man. Don't talk to a man in my case. Don't talk to people and be friends with people who don't look like you, who don't dress like you, who don't speak like you, and the list goes on and on. So with that beginning of being nice, we also give them a list of what not to do. Our microculture has taken a root in each one of our life. As we grow up, become an adult, we have become a subtle, civilized macro and micro aggressors. That's where macroculture has taken our lives in. And we continue on. With the lived experiences of Uncle Mo, Bruce, Mike, Oneka, Amna, we have created the boxes, the subtle boxes. As Mike said, that my humble socioeconomic status has kept me back. So you can name any box which can be socioeconomic, ethnicity, color, age, weight, height, and there is a box for it. What is the reason and purpose of it? The first and foremost is to make people feel inferior about themselves. Also, when I say subtle, subtle is also a word which in itself implies things to be done in an understated way, softly, quietly, so that when you do it, no one else notices it. When you sneak upon people from the behind, they don't know what has happened to you. The purpose of subtle is to cover the harmful practices, text, writings, policies, practices in a way and form that no one can point towards it. How is this subtle presented to people? This subtle is presented to people in a nice wrapping. When you give a package to a person with a nice wrapping around it, and when that person opens that package and realizes that it stings from inside, two things have happened. One, onlookers, audience, who were mesmerized by the first impression of that nice wrapping around that box have mentally moved on. Secondly, it is very difficult for you to show anyone that it really stings from inside. So that's what happened with the subtle. Is this good for anyone? This is not good for anyone. We talk about workplaces and life in general, but this substantially impacts even the return on investment of working world. Studies suggest that 45% of workplaces perform better and have a better market share when they have a diverse organization. And 35% businesses outperform the industry's national average in America. That is why everyone and businesses and working world has to reject subtle. Again, why reject subtle? A simple answer is to be treated as a human. To be treated as a human, not only in workplace or in a working world, but in every form of life for society and for the world. I would dare you for yourself for the people you care for and love for. You have to, and I have to, and each one of us has to reject subtle to become a world of human for humans. Let's do it. Become human for humans. Let's do it.